Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and a warm welcome if you're new, honey. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about Olandria because some other interviews have came out with a few Love Island Season 7 cast members, and they've said that they really enjoyed speaking with and getting to know Olandria, but she was a little bit intimidating. And in a way, these interviews have kind of vindicated her from the fans that were saying she was unwanted and undesirable and being desperate in the villa. Because no, it wasn't that she was just undesirable. She literally just, her maturity made these men uncomfortable. And that's really what it all boiled down to. So if you're ready to get into these interviews, I think we have Zach, we have Jeremiah, and then Nick talked a little bit about him being nervous in the villa while talking to Olandria, but he still wanted to pursue her because we all know Nick is that guy. So if you're ready to get into this story, just stay tuned. So as we all know, Olandria is very well known for her vibrant personality and her ability to pretty much get along with everyone inside of the villa. Outside of the villa is a different story because yes, we have Huda, we have a couple different people. People are saying her and Shelly aren't really that close anymore, but while they were in the villa, I feel like she had a very poised attitude, very neutral for the most part, trying to hear both sides of each story, each piece of drama, which I feel like is a testament to like her personality and her ethics, because no, you just don't take one side because you've heard that. You get the full story and try to see what's going on, which I love about Miss Olandria. And we all know that she is very mature as well. Well, it looks like this maturity got her in a few struggles in the villa because, I mean, she was making some of the guys nervous, and I guess it wasn't always in the best way. It seems like maybe it was more so of an insecurity thing. Like maybe she made them feel small or dumb or something. I have no idea. But it's really nice to know that a couple of Islanders have now come out and they have their own separate interviews. So first we're going to get into Zach's because this is the most recent one. I think it came out a few days ago, and he was just talking about the differences that he saw between Olandria and Amaya.
Yeah, I went for Olandria, but you know, she was very she was a really nice person to speak to. She was very sturdy, you know, the way she speaks. She's very well spoken. And low key, like, I don't really get nervous speaking to the girls, but when I was speaking to her, I was like, damn, like, I feel a bit nervous speaking to this woman, you know? So yeah, and then we was going up and down, you know, we had great chats, but I felt like it became more of a friendship than anything else. Yeah. But then Amaya, I can see she was very trying. You know, I could see it in her eyes. She's this little sweet girl looking for some love. I'm one of those guys like, you know what, let me give her this love. So at the end, I was like, you know what, I had to make a choice to stand up to save Amaya or Olandria. Bear in mind, this is the second day on the fucking villa. So I'm like, so I said, what happens if I don't pick that girl? What happens to her? The girl you don't pick, she goes home. I'm like, what? I said, I'm a Casa boy. I said, we told you. They said, the power's in your hand this year. And I'm just thinking, you're going to make me make this decision. Everyone's going to fucking hate me regardless who I pick now. Right. So I stood, I was like, guys, listen, I was fucking nervous as shit. Alandria stood there saying like, you know, if you have a strong connection with somebody else, like, stand up. And I'm just looking around. I was thinking, fuck. You know, I have to go with my gut instinct. You know, can I see myself developing a relationship with Olandria? No. But can I see something developing with Maya? Possibly. So I just over it for Maya, and everyone just started crying, bursting into tears. I thought I was going to be happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, Maya got saved, but then everyone started crying and that, saying like, our girl's going home, da-da-da. She was like, it's okay, whatever. And then she was like, I was like, can I speak to you? She's like, nope, you've already made your choice. Sleep with it. And I was like, damn, you know, I didn't, you know, I had to pick somebody.
So even though I sort of understand his explanation, it pretty much seemed like Olandria was too mature, like in a way, like she knows what she wants. And Amaya seemed a little bit more on the desperate side, just from his description alone, because he's like, I can look in her eyes and I could just see like she just wants to be loved so much. And that kind of sounds like desperation to me. But I'm sure you guys also remember that Zach, this guy right here, actually got outed because he was not being genuine in the villa. He was talking about strategy and this and that, being very orchestrated with his camera time, acting completely different than how he acts when the cameras are not rolling. And Amaya was very upset when all of this came to light. So this is him talking a little bit more about that situation.
So when I was with Amaya, you know what, I'm looking at this girl, I could see she's such a sweet girl. I feel like she's got a love to give. Like, she was such a sweet girl. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. But bro, like, I've just told you all the stuff I've been through and shit. Like, for me to open up to somebody, it takes a long time. But when you're thrown into a show, I think like kissing with someone on the show, I don't think it means anything though, because it's a show, everyone's kissing, it didn't mean nothing. But actually opening up to somebody is very hard. So I tried, you know, slowly trying to open up to her, like build up whatever. But then she was just like, he's not giving me 100%. Like I think it's being fake. Like, you know, when the cameras are on, he's always like, yeah, he kisses me, he does this, does that. And I'm just like, bro, like, I said, truthful, but you're like, in the real world, like, I don't move this fast, am I? You're like, I'm trying. And, you know, we tried and we had that up and down like a normal relationship. You know, I did really try with her, but all the time she was very touchy, like, you know, behind the scenes. There wasn't nothing bad because some people love that affection. People love, like, I love being touched. But once I give that girl approval of like, that's what I like. My love language is actually touching and kissing. That only happens once I like somebody, you know, but somebody I just met, it was very hard. So when she's constantly trying to touch me and kiss me, you know, I did it here and there, but then after doing it so much, just doing it because I felt like, you know, it was the right thing to do, that's when I had that start to build a bit of resentment towards her, and I didn't want to.
Now, regarding the explanation he gave with Amaya, I don't really full-heartedly believe that, because yes, kissing is going to be a lot easier than expressing yourself, because expressing yourself requires you to break down those walls. And if you're not used to doing that, how are you going to do that on national TV? But the part that really gets me is, even though you might have felt like, okay, I'm not really used to affection, you having a certain strategy, like, that still is fake of you to do, because in the villa, you're supposed to just be finding love. Yes, you might want to go about things the right way. That's great. But you being performative for the cameras is saying, like, it's literally just screaming fakeness, because if you can do it on camera, you can do it off camera, but you're choosing not to. Hello. But anyway, we don't even have to worry about Zach no more, because even though Zach said what he said about Olandria, it wasn't anything negative, but that's fine, because Nick, nice looking self, done snatched up. Okay, he done snatched her up. So this is what Nick had to say.
When she was saying she maybe thought she wasn't your type, even despite all of those advances.
Well, I think since minute one of the villa, I was like, this is someone I'm interested in. Whether she knows it or, like, when she kissed me on the heart the first day, like, whether she knew it or not, like, how can Olandria not be someone's type?
That's,
you know
exact, I mean? And that's 1,000% true.
Like, I don't know.
Who wouldn't be?
Exactly.
No, it's for real.
So,
yeah.
And I even told Taylor, like, maybe it was a few weeks in, like, Olandria is someone I've been wanting to explore. Like, I'm hurt. Like, that's someone I secretly admire. And I mean, I don't remember.
Now, even though Olandria may not have seen it at first that Nick was really attracted to her, I feel like it's been pretty clear, especially from the outside looking in, ever since I started the beginning of season 7. He has always seemed to gravitate towards her. Even when he's in a connection, he will still be respectful, but I noticed that he would still, like, you know, even as friends, they'd be chit-chatting it up and talking and everything. And he would always give these little side glances, you know, be looking at Olandria. So for me, it was super clear that he was feeling Olandria. So when everyone kept coming out saying that it was fake, I was so confused. It didn't make no sense. And now I want you guys to see this other part of the interview where Taylor was saying some things about Olandria that maybe Nick didn't like. And look at his face, child.
Seem to be so. You may have to go ahead and cuss me out like that. Nick really trying to control it. Like, he really trying. This was like a month ago. Nick is like doing the mannequin. Everybody, like, you could have did that when it was me and her one-on-one. But now it's on everybody. You go off it. It just threw me for a loop.
It looked like it was paused. It's not paused. Now, why Nick looked like he want to crash out immediately? You can tell he's very territorial over Olandria. He doesn't want to hear anybody speaking. Even, I wouldn't even say necessarily in a negative way, but he just doesn't want to hear anything. Like, anything that's not positive. Even if it's neutral, even if it's like how you feel about the situation. Because Taylor was saying, okay, he felt like she shouldn't have cussed him out, you know, in the middle of the villa. However, they both exchanged words. So you can't really be mad, because you went off on her saying, oh, well, my job isn't to keep you here in the villa. My job is to find love. Like, y'all were both going back and forth. It's not like she was the only one. So don't do that, Taylor. Don't do that. Go find Clark, please. Thanks. But anyway, enough about Taylor Big Forehead having ass. Let's go ahead and go on to Jeremiah. Now, Jeremiah didn't necessarily say he was like nervous or intimidated, but he did have a few good things to say about Olandria and some preferences that he had in the villa. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
It's girlfriend material.
You kissing them?
I'm gonna go with Olandria because she had very like, talking to her, like, she was very spiritual. Like, I always sort of the old soul of the group, and we had really, really good talks when I was going through some stuff. So I'd say Olandria because she seems very well rounded.
Out of the OGs. Yes, out of the OGs. Let's be honest, man. Keep it 1,000. Baby Pun, appreciate this up.
respectfully, my not number 2, but like it was, like when I first walked in there, I seen Hood and Bella. Those were like my 2. Those were the first twice.
The first people that caught your eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And then Loki, Olandria a little bit, because that's what I like did the most within the challenges. Olandria, yeah, she's dope.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, 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 looks like we heard it here, folks. Okay, she was not undesirable at all. There were plenty of prospects, plenty of people who wanted to talk to Olandria, but her maturity was just a little up there, okay? She was just a little intimidating. So there were a couple things that I saw online that I wanted to touch on because you already know the fans were talking. Somebody said that and their men were playing Dora the Explorer. The Casa Boys knew that I guess Amaya was an easy pick because nobody thought she wanted Austin for real or that their connection was strong, but let them tell it, she was quite the catch. I do still feel like Amaya was the catch because she was in fact a sweetheart. She was adorable. However, when you compare Olandria with Amaya, I don't really feel like there's a comparison because even though Amaya is super sweet, she gives off a very naive, young, childish vibe. And being childlike is fine, but being naive is a whole different situation. I don't really feel like there's any comparison there. Someone else said she will always be vindicated. Quite literally, every man has said that they were scared to approach her or nervous because of the way she carried herself. Exactly. Because there are so many Olandria haters that just felt like she was being a little desperate. Now, I will say the Taylor situation with Clark, that gave me secondhand embarrassment a little bit. I will say that. However, Olandria did an interview where she explained that she wouldn't have done all that if Taylor was just straight up with her from the jump. She didn't know that he wasn't initially physically attracted to her, and if she would have knew that information or if he would have just told her and been honest, then she wouldn't have even been in that situation. But anyway, somebody else said, so basically the girls y'all swear were the most desired were only getting approached because they were radiating bird energy. Chris and Jeremiah literally said the same thing. Won't God do it? Olandria, you will always be that girl. I know that's right. But y'all, I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what the fans had to say. I do want to know your comments, so go ahead and leave them down below. Do you feel like people really were just intimidated? Do you feel like she was giving desperate energy? If you ask me, I don't really think it was desperate. I did get secondhand embarrassment that one time. I told y'all that. But other than that, no, I really don't. And plus, she already explained the thing that gave me secondhand embarrassment, so I'm good. But yeah, guys, go ahead and leave your thoughts down in the comments. And if you made it this far, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell. That way you're notified every time I post. And in the meantime, y'all be careful out here because this world and the people are cray. Okay, love you. Bye.